Which to do, YouTube? It's Holy One, and this is going to be my review for God of War. And I'm going to tell you if the game is a masterpiece or it's overhyped. So, let's start with the basics of the game with gameplay. So, when it comes to the fighting style of God of War, it definitely has changed. It is no longer, side-turning action. It's more of like a third-person action game. Pretty much most of what Sony games are. And the combat is definitely a lot different than the first game. You got the axe. It can be thrown. It can be recalled. You have Arterius, who can offer assistance when fighting enemies. Whether it's trolls or these undead creatures. Or pretty much finishing off final bosses like the dragon and stuff like that, where you use a crane. When it comes to the boss fights, pretty much most of them are, weaken their health low enough, or throw a specific item at them constantly until they fall dead. An example of this would be fighting the dragon, where you have to pretty much throw this fruit that explodes constantly until the dragon's health goes down, or attack his leg, similar to that. When it comes to controls, I don't like that you have to use the back triggers to, attack your enemies or aim your axe to throw it. That can get a bit annoying at times. That's pretty much it for the gameplay. When it comes to graphics, the game's graphics are pretty good. They're really good for what the PS4 can do, for what it can put out. It's not as good as Horizon Zero Dawn, in my opinion. And if you're comparing it to like high-end PC games like Shadow Warrior 2 or something like that, or Gears of War 4 maxed out at PC similar to that, I'd say those look slightly better, or better overall. But graphics on the PS4, I'm amazed at it can put out this game at what it looks like. So the graphics are pretty good. I give those a straight A+ for that. When it comes to the story, it's pretty much, help take your wife's ashes to this mountain, kill a bunch of bosses, from gods to dragons to these orcs and stuff. Half the boss fights were pretty good, and the other half were kind of boring and repetitive. So, yeah, they were overall half and half. Half were good, half were bad. Let's see. Now, when it comes to performance, I know some people don't really care about performance, but the motion blur in this game is very heavy with film grain, so if you have motion sickness, yeah, this is going to affect you. Luckily, someone told me you can turn it off, so luckily I was able to turn all that crap off. Yeah, most people aren't bothered by that. The frame rate is at 30 FPS, of course, and the Pro doesn't really offer higher than, I think, 40 frames per second. Because I know most people who play action games are like, action games are mandatory 60. It would be forgivable, but the controls are ass. And so, the controls are ass and the frame rate's ass, so it's kind of like, it's a mixture of problems right there. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. Overall, the game, I feel, was very overhyped, and the game to me was kind of mediocre. I know there's some gripes that people had where the Kratos can't jump, the new voice actor, all sorts of little nitpicky things. I had an issue with, the map system is bad, the graphics system is okay, it can get convoluted at the beginning. When you go off, you're trying to find treasure off the beaten path, the game doesn't tell you where it is, so you have to literally look up videos to find where everything is if you're trying to platinum this game. It's not a broken, buggy mess, but if I have to give the game a review, I'd give the game a 7 out of 10. My reasons for this is great graphics, okay story, decent boss fights. The only negatives are the controls. Some certain boss fights are negative on that, and yeah, I guess the jumping one would be a negative for some people, but overall the game is okay. I wouldn't recommend paying $60 at full price for this. Maybe wait till it's on sale for $40 or something like that. But overall, God of War 4 was a bit of a disappointment for me, and I've played every single God of War game all the way back on the PSP, PS1, 2, and PS3. So that's my review of God of War, guys. Let me know what you think down below. This is your boy Holy One, out!